many of you have ever come up against words you've never seen before and don't know how to pronounce? All right, let's be honest. How many of you have just skipped that word?
Social studies teacher Mary Catherine Keating is building knowledge through vocabulary. Because so many students come to this class with a range of reading skills, she knows the key to understanding content is through key words.
How many of you have done the reading assignment, skipped over those words, and had no clue what the reading said? So the words are the important part. When you're reading a nonfiction text, the words that you don't know, usually about 5% for most kids, those are the most important words, and they are the key to understanding the concept. So let's go get some of this 5%.
As Mary Catherine Keating and Robert Sebring team teach World History 2, they embed reading strategies throughout their lesson, from paired reading
Divine Right of Kings
to the use of word walls. These teachers help students master reading in the content area. The strategies are easily transferred to other reading the students may do.
Giovanni.
Attacking keywords and concepts start with what students know.
No phone after. Anybody have rules about their phone?
Apparently I'm not allowed to text between 4.
So we began with an activity on their family and rules and who makes rules in the family, and then we moved it to the school and how you have a say and what you can do with those rules, and learning that sometimes, you know, some rules are more structured. Come up with a definition for absolute.
100% positive.
Excellent.
Of everything.
All of everything. Oh, I like that. You give kids assigned words in vocabulary. A lot of the kids will just go to the back of the glossary and copy the definition and never work with the word.
And by definition, you have tight control if you're an absolute ruler.
Keating and Sebring introduce words to students in multiple ways. First, they begin by building background knowledge.
Anybody have any kids making the rules in the house?
Second, they want students to use words like a historian.
So we can put the time period where absolutism was successful.
And third, Keating and Sebring group key words so students can interact with vocabulary. They cluster words and terms into categories and explain their reasoning behind it. For example, students should know the difference between Oliver Cromwell and the Roundheads, and the difference between absolutism and an absolute monarch. Finally, as homework, students will answer open-ended questions, stressing the 5% of terms and phrases unique to their chapter of study.
In fact, right now, I'm assuming that you guys can do these two words, without looking them up.
The goal for these students is to become active readers. As they study their textbooks and assigned readings, students learn to identify text clues to answer questions, and even appreciate word walls.
All the reading, even, elementary, high school, middle school reading has said, put word walls in. This is the first year I'm doing it. I'm in the process of building it. My goal is by the end of the year, there's going to be words all over this classroom. And my idea is, as we move from unit to unit, I want the words to stay fresh in the mind.
Keating and Sebring recognize that reading levels vary in their class. They purposely pair students to read to one another.
Well, when people read out loud, it also builds confidence in them.
Able to listen for who is struggling with the reading so that we can pick that up and give them more assistance. Plus, the other thing we find is when they're paired reading, they tend to pay attention more.
Basically just highlighting like the facts and like things that like summarize each paragraph, and then on the side we like write like a quick brief like sentence or just like a couple words to summarize each paragraph.
Mary Catherine Keating and Robert Sebring weave reading strategies into their high school social studies classroom because it supports student learning for everyone. They know that as students progress in their education, the reading they encounter becomes much more complex. Yet some teachers seldom teach students how to deal with increasingly complex text, and thus a learning gap begins to emerge. The explicit instruction of reading strategies for complex text of each content area is the main tool toward content mastery.
Does it take time? Yes. But the time that it takes me to develop these strategies, I gain at the end of the year because I don't have to review as much because the kids have internalized a lot of it. They've made it their own.
These reading strategies are very useful.
In the end, you could just like look back, like if you're looking for something like, okay, what are the rules of temp? That's right there. Or what do they do for power? That's right there. Or it's easy to find.
We don't have it in different classes. I don't know why, because it's such a